My ex-wife had an affair with a guy from the camp where we went all our lives. The author of the post is listed in the description. We first met at summer camp in 2013. We were counselors at our respective camps, where we had both been campers during our childhood. These camps are affiliated and are considered brother-sister camps. They are close to one another, celebrate their histories together, and have many social gatherings during the summer. Camp has always been a home to me. My ex and I share a deep emotional connection to these camps, and so do thousands of other people who have been lucky enough to spend their summers there. Meeting a partner who shared the special bond of camp was a dream come true, especially for me because I had devoted so much of my life to that place, and it had become a major part of my identity. We met in July at a counselor party in the woods. I've always been shy and introverted, but she was outgoing and had a wonderful personality. I will never forget the moment she came up to me next to the fire. She made me feel wanted. What began as something casual that summer quickly turned into something more. 2 months later, I was visiting her in Seattle, where she was doing a grad program. It just felt right. However, our different lines of work forced the relationship to be long distance for several years. We did camp in the summers and saw each other regularly through the off-season from 2013 to 2016. She worked a couple different teaching jobs, and I operated a small construction company, while also doing some work at camp in the off-season. Eventually, she got a job teaching at a boarding school in Massachusetts. After her first year there, I applied for a job and was hired as well. We were finally living together after having been long distance for 4+ years. In February of 2021, my 4th year teaching, I finally proposed. We had been together for about 8 years at that point. It was definitely time, and I feel bad for making her wait so long. For me, it was never about my love for her. It was more so about feeling like life was settled and I was in a good position to get married. Financially, career-wise, etc. I always knew she was the one, but for whatever reason I didn't act on these feelings until I saw it as perfect timing. I know she wanted me to propose long before I did, but nonetheless it was the happiest moment of our lives. We would end up getting married in front of a huge crowd of our families and closest friends, many of whom were camp people, in December of that year, 2021. Here is where the story gets ugly. In August, before the wedding, one of my lifelong camp friends, and soon-to-be groomsmen in our wedding, got hired at the school we worked at. He, like many others, wanted to try teaching because it allowed him to return to camp in the summer. I was thrilled to have a close friend working at school with me. However, there was a bit of an awkward history between him and my ex. During the second year we were dating, I learned that the two of them were texting on a regular basis and in an intimate way. It was nothing sexual, but it did make me weary of what was going on when I looked at her phone. I confronted her about this and it stopped. When he got hired at school, I'll admit I felt slightly uneasy. But what happened between them was almost 7 years ago, and he and I were extremely close friends. I let it go. I do want to admit that I have always been envious of my now former friend. He is tall, very athletic, extremely intelligent, talented as a woodworker, and according to women I have heard from, very attractive. For some reason, I have always compared myself to him in almost an obsessive way. Before his second year at the school, he moved into the apartment right down the hall from me and my ex. He became the dorm parent at the other end of the hall. I felt a strange sense of dread when I learned this news. It was supposed to be exciting to be that close to a dear friend, but it was as if I could see something bad was going to happen. That whole school year, which was last year 22-23, was like standing on train tracks and knowing a train was coming, but for some reason not being able to get out of the way. Every interaction between him and my ex slowly started to make me more and more uncomfortable. I observed the two of them like a hawk. He was the attractive bachelor that would come over to hang out with me and flirt with my wife in the process. It made me sick, but I kept it in. Towards the spring term, I really began to think something was going on. There was a night when I found the two of them alone at midnight in the dorm common room, 1.5 hours after they had put the students to bed, sitting on the couch next to each other, almost whispering. It was so uncomfortable. I confronted them. They could sense the discomfort in my expressions and seemed embarrassed. In the following weeks, I began to notice my ex taking her phone into the bathroom with her and that she had put a passcode on it. Towards the end of the year, The energy between them was so observable that there were rumors among some of the other faculty members that they were sleeping with each other. I had honest, open conversations with each of them to express my concerns about their relationship. They each went on to assure me that there was absolutely nothing going on. As the school year was ending and we were preparing to go to camp, my ex sat me down and began explaining how she was unhappy, that she felt I don't give her the attention she needs, don't meet her needs, and doesn't feel like she has a partner in me. I was so sad to hear this. I would have done anything to make her happy, and I vowed to work harder to meet her expectations. She said she needs space, and that she wants to take the summer apart so that she can miss me again, but in no way did she want to see other people, or that she wanted a divorce. This all came after a night where we were all at a party together. I said I wanted to leave early, which I did, but she decided to stay. I later learned that she drunkenly walked home with my friend at the end of the party. Over the course of the summer, she and I communicated. We did not see each other, but we talked. I took care of our dog. The narrative was the same. I am unhappy, but unsure about divorce. My responses were consistently, "This marriage is the most important thing in my life, and working to fix it is my priority." I was apologetic for making her feel the way she felt, but it's not as if I was some deadbeat who didn't do anything to help or was never around. I did all the cleaning, all the cooking, all the grocery shopping. I managed all of our finances. I cared for her through consistent acts of kindness and service. What she was lacking was more of an emotional connection, but she is just as guilty of not cultivating that in our relationship. During the summer, she dropped a bomb on me. She said, "I don't think we should keep working at school together." She said, "Either you resign or I will." She had always wanted to move on from working there to start a family and live a more normal life. I think she blamed me for not doing more to get us out of there. Anyway, I begrudgingly took one for the team and resigned mid-summer. I did this purely because I thought it was what she needed for us to improve our marriage. I now needed to find a new job and a new place to live. She didn't even want to live together anymore. It was extremely stressful, but I took it because I loved her and thought doing what she wanted would help. Her birthday was at the end of the summer. I thought this would be a good opportunity to show her how much I cared. I bought her some very nice Tiffany's diamond earrings. She ended up telling me that she wanted to be left alone on her birthday. I gave her the earrings and she ended up giving them back to me. I was curious about what she was doing on her birthday. We were both still at our camps even though the summer was basically over. So I looked at her location on my phone. She wasn't at her camp, but instead she was down the road at the family lake house of my friend. I drove over there to find her car and his truck in the driveway. They were sitting on the couch next to each other, alone, on her birthday. I was so angry and disgusted. I confronted them, of course. He said nothing, like a coward. And all she said was that she needed a friend on her birthday. I told her I don't believe her and don't trust her and stormed off. Over the next few days, I began to get very suspicious. She was now back at school, along with my friend, so I was naturally extremely anxious and curious about what was going on there. I ended up downloading our cell phone records for the past few months, which turned out to be truly heartbreaking. I learned that the two of them sent each other over 9,100 texts between May 15th and August 15th, almost 100 per day. I was so shocked and disturbed by what I had learned. How was that even possible? We were all at camp, busy, around kids, supervising kids in a setting where you aren't supposed to use your phone. Oftentimes, they were up extremely late into the evening, 2 or 3 a.m. texting each other. As you can imagine, I was devastated to learn this. I had been hanging out with my friend all summer only to learn he was secretly texting my wife the whole time, many times when I was right next to him. I confronted them about this, and the story was that she began texting him as a friend to discuss the issues of her marriage. They claimed to be just friends. My intuition told me it was all bullshit. I should have just divorced her right then, but I held on for what little hope remained. I thought maybe there was a chance that they really were just being friendly. Maybe there was still hope for us. I told all of my friends about what I had learned and expressed my fears that my ex was having an affair. Because we were all such close friends, this really alienated my friend and my ex. They had many people from multiple communities judging and viewing them through a different lens. In an attempt to defend himself, my friend sent out an email to a huge group of our mutual friends. He claimed I was dragging him through the mud, accusing him of having an affair with my wife. He claimed I was blaming him for ruining my marriage. He claimed they were just friends who had become close working together at school, and that she had begun confiding in him the problems of her marriage. He claimed I was his best friend, and that he didn't want to lose the rest of them because I had told them something that wasn't true. I spent the entire fall September, November, reiterating my commitment to her, sending my love, expressing how much I missed her, only to get very little in return from her. I expressed time and time again that I am worried about her and my friend there at school. She told me adamantly on multiple occasions that there was absolutely nothing going on, and that there never would be. She had absolutely no interest in a relationship with him. Eventually, in November, my ex filed for divorce. I could sense it was coming to that, but I had wanted to do everything I could to save the marriage, even with the wildly uncomfortable relationship she had begun with my friend. In December, she called to tell me that she was going to pursue a relationship with my friend. This was so horrible. The worst news I have ever received, and a complete 180 from what she had told me. I just wanted to die. She literally spent months telling me that would never happen. As it turns out, the truth was that she and my friend had actually been dating since the beginning of September and had been seeing each other secretly all summer. I learned this through my ex-wife's friends, who spilled the beans on the subject to some of my friends. I have been so upset, so distraught since learning this. I spend every waking moment wishing I was dead. I feel so insignificant. The pain of being pushed aside for someone else is truly awful, especially for someone you were always envious of and feared your partner was truly interested in. Add in the horrible lies and deceit and the betrayal from two people you trusted so deeply, it makes you truly question if life is worth living. Why even try to trust another human being ever again? I understand being unhappy in a marriage. Walk away, blame me for failing you, put it all on me, that's fine. But to complain about intimate parts of your marriage to your husband's friend, especially one who you knew your husband was concerned about, is so wildly inappropriate. The lies to my face on so many occasions were so hurtful. This situation makes me question everything. I am not perfect, and never claimed to have been, but I was a loving husband who wouldn't have been caught dead doing something like this to my ex-wife. Pursuing another woman absolutely never crossed my mind. They have both shown such little remorse. The image of them together, sleeping in the bed I built, using the gifts from our wedding, makes me want to end it all. Maybe she didn't want to be with me anymore. I can accept that. But to do what she did and lie so elaborately to me in the process is cruel and unforgivable. I really could use some help in navigating this. My ex had her own grievances with me. I will not deny that. But my friend of 15 years, who I thought was loyal, turned on me in an unthinkable way. He may have found himself in a difficult situation, hearing complaints from my ex about me, but he could have washed his hands of this early on. Did he not because he wanted to respect the feelings of my ex? Or was it because he liked the attention and saw it going somewhere? How do they justify this in their minds? Is it possible that this naturally started as a friendship and grew into something more? We had such a loving relationship for so many years, but it all seemed to fall apart last year when the two of them were in such close proximity on a regular basis. Did she walk away because of me, or was it to pursue him? I am willing to accept the former, but the latter seems impossible to ignore, simply based on timing. Interesting update. I was able to reach out to the school administration via email to tell them what had happened. About a week after doing this, I learned that my STB ex-wife and her new boyfriend, my groomsman and now former friend, are leaving the school at the end of the year. I am not sure if they have been asked to leave or if they are just looking for a fresh start. I suppose it doesn't matter either way, but I have an opportunity to get my job back, which is a positive. I have no idea where they are going or what they are going to do, and I'll admit that I am curious to know, even though I shouldn't care. I also learned that he will be working with her at the girls' camp this summer. To provide more detail, he was going to be fired from his job at the boys' camp, but managed to announce that he wouldn't be returning this summer before he could actually be fired. While the camps are closely affiliated, having long-serving counselors switch from one camp to the other simply doesn't happen. Naturally, this news has caused some drama and anxiety on my part, even though I won't need to cross paths with either of them this summer. I still find myself in a horrible mental state. I am spending so much time wondering what they are doing, if they are in love, Are they going to get married as soon as the divorce is final? What their sex life is like, etc. It is consuming me and destroying my confidence. The person I loved threw me to the curb in favor of someone better, and that really hurts. I know I should not allow them to occupy space in my mind, but easier said than done. Therapy has been somewhat productive, but in all honesty, the greatest support has come from my friends and from you all. I'm dying to know if they feel any remorse or regret or guilt. Has this been challenging for them like it has for me? I trusted them so deeply, and they lied to me and to our shared communities. I worry that I may never be able to trust in others or even have a romantic relationship again. The loneliness is a constant struggle. How do you like this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love you.